In the essay Everything I Need to Know, I Learned in the Forest, Vandana Shiva speaks about different topics. The first one is her childhood. She directly speaks in the first person narrative. My ecological journey started in the forests of the Himalaya. My father was a forest conservator and my mother became a farmer after fleeing the tragic partition of India and Pakistan. It is from the Himalayan forests and ecosystems that I learned most of what I know about ecology. The songs and poems our mother composed for us were about trees, forests and India's forest civilizations. My involvement in the contemporary ecology movement began with Chipko, a non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation that was taking place in the Himalayan region. In the 1970s, peasant women from my region in the Garhwal Himalaya had come out in defense of the forest. Logging had led to landslides and floods and scarcity of water, fodder and fuel. Since women provide these basic needs, the scarcity meant longer walks for collecting water and firewood and a heavier burden. Women knew that the real value of forest was not the timber from a dead tree, but the springs and streams, food for their cattle and fuel for their huts. The women declared that they would hug the trees and loggers would have to kill them before killing the trees. A folk song of that period said, "These beautiful oaks and rhododendrons, they give us cool water, don't cut these trees, we have to keep them alive." Now, in the beginning part of the essay, Vandana Shiva is giving her childhood experience, her ecological journey, Vandana Shiva's ecological journey. So, ecological journey means Vandana Shiva's involvement towards nature, environment. So, ecology, which studies the relationship between the organisms which lives in nature, different organisms, species, birds, animals, plants which live in nature, the relationship between them. The study of this relationship is called as ecology. And her ecological journey started in the forests of the Himalaya. So you might get one more question, where did Vandana Shiva's ecological journey start? So the ecological journey of Vandana Shiva started in the Himalayan forest. Her father was a forest conservator, forest protector, and her mother became a farmer after fleeing the tragic partition of India and Pakistan. When India and Pakistan was divided, then Vandana Shiva's mother, she became a farmer. It is from the Himalayan forests and ecosystems that I learned most of what I know about ecology. So Vandana Shiva, whatever she knows about ecology today, she is an expert in ecology and environmentalism, and whatever she knows about ecology and environment, its importance, significance and how human beings depend upon nature and how nature depends upon human beings for its sustenance, all these things Vandana Shiva learned from Himalayan forest and ecosystems. So ecosystem, the relationship between the living organisms and different species in nature, so environment. The songs and poems our mother composed. During her childhood, many songs were composed by Vandana Shiva's mother, and those songs were about trees, forest and India's forest civilization. From her childhood itself, she learned about ecology and she got interest in environmentalism and nature because of her father and mother. Her mother composed songs and poems, and all these songs and poems were about forest and Indian forest civilization. So because of this inspiration and because of this reason, Vandana Shiva got very much interest to study, to know about environment, and then she started involving in Chipko movement. My involvement in the contemporary ecology movement began with Chipko. So her involvement in ecology. So as I told you, ecology, this studies the relationship between the different living organisms in nature. So her involvement in this ecology started with Chipko, a non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation. You need to underline this. What do you mean by Chipko movement? A non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation that was taking place in the Himalayan region. In the Himalayan region during 1970s and 1980s, the government officials and men woodcutters, they were cutting down trees to get timber, wood, logs. But the uneducated women of that region, Garhwal region, they started to protect trees. So that's why it is a non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation. Deforestation means cutting the trees, completely destroying the forest, deforestation. And antonym of this, opposite word of this is afforestation. That was taking place in the Himalayan region. In the Himalayan region, during 1970s and 80s, all these government officials and men, they obtained contract from private companies to give them logs, timber, wood. For that reason, they used to cut trees. And uneducated women of that region, Garhwal Himalayan region, they came in the defense of these trees, and this type of non-violent response is called as Chipko movement. So usually Chipko is a Hindi word. So Chipko means hugging tightly. So here the women, they hugged the trees to protect the trees from the woodcutters. So that's why this movement is named as Chipko movement. And the same type of similar movement which was started in Karnataka, that was called as Appiko Chaduvali, Appiko movement. In the 1970s, peasant women from my region in the Garhwal Himalaya had come out in the defense of the forest. As I told you, these uneducated women in this Garhwal region, they came to protect these trees. Logging had led to landslides and floods. So what are the consequences, or what is demerits and the effects of this cutting trees or deforestation? Logging had led to landslides. Logging means to get wood, cutting the trees. That is called as logging. Logging had led to landslides and floods. Because of cutting of the trees, soil, it was losing its firm stand, and landslides were happening. Landslides means a kind of earthquake, not exactly earthquake, where the soil completely falls down and moves from the upper area to lower area without having any firm stand. If trees are there, the roots of the tree firmly holds the soil, then the soil gets a firm stand and it can be there like a mold. If the support of the roots is not there, the trees are not there, then these landslides and floods happens. So floods, when there is no trees, if trees are not there, then if heavy rainfall happens, the soil will flow away along with the water. If trees are there, the trees can hold the soil with the help of the roots. So that's why logging had led to landslides and floods and scarcity of water. If no trees, then less rainfall. If less rainfall, then there is no drinking water. And not only the scarcity of water, even fodder and fuel. So fodder for the cattle. So here fodder means for cattle, for animals, there is no food. And fuel. So fuel means firewood. The women of that region, they used to use the dead trees, the fallen trees and the wood from the trees to cook their daily food, that is fuel. Since women provide these basic needs, the scarcity meant longer walks for collecting water and firewood. So at home, who are going to provide our basic needs, that is food, water, everything? Who will take care of all these things? All the basic needs at home are taken care by women. Since women provide these basic needs, the scarcity meant longer walk. If there is scarcity of water, if water is not available nearby, then the women had to walk so many kilometers, so many miles together to collect water and firewood. To collect drinking water and firewood, they used to walk so many miles and a heavier burden. So it was very difficult and their condition was very pathetic. So that's why they realized the importance of trees and forests. That's why they came in the defense of forests in a non-violent way. So that's why Chipko is a non-violent response against deforestation. And this response and this movement was led by the uneducated women of Garhwal region. Women knew that the real value of the forest was not the timber from a dead tree. Women know, though they are uneducated, they know the real value of the forest. So what is the real value of the forest? According to forest officials and the woodcutters, the value of forest is wood. timber. Timber means wood, log. But it is not timber from a dead tree. It means the real value of forest is not cutting down the trees to get timber, to get wood, to get logs, but the springs and streams. Forest means springs. If forest is there, then it can bring rain. If good rainfall, then spring season, then flowers, then greenery, then food, then enjoyable nature. So everything is good, and even streams. If forests are there, more number of forests are there, then more number of trees are there, then it leads to good rainfall. Then throughout the forest you can see streams and even rivers. Food for their cattle, and women, they used to get food, that is fodder for their cattle, for their cow, for their animals, for the grazing of the animals. Forests and trees, they are very essential. And fuel for their hearths. So hearth on which they used to cook food, for that hearths they use the wood from a dead tree and the wood from the forest as fuel, firewood. They used firewood to cook food. The women declared that they would hug the trees and the loggers would have to kill them before killing the trees. You need to underline this. How did the women protect the trees? The women protect the trees by declaring and even by hugging the trees. And they declared that the loggers means wood cutters, the one who is cutting the trees, then they have to kill the women first before they killing the trees. Before the cutting the trees, they have to kill the women, then they have to cut the trees. It means in order to protect the trees, the women were ready to even sacrifice their precious lives, and this shows a non-violent response. It is not based in violence. It is completely non-violent response. So that's why it is called as Chipko movement. They just hugged the trees. So Chipko means hugging, sticking. They completely stick to trees, hugged the trees to protect it. A folk song of that period said, as we know, even Vandana Shiva's mother composed so many poems and songs. So one of the folk song of that period, these beautiful oaks and rhododendrons, they give us cool water. Don't cut these trees, we have to keep them alive. These beautiful oaks, oak, it's a huge and lengthy growing tree which is used to make furniture. And these beautiful oaks and rhododendrons means a wide variety of flowers which were found in forest. Wide variety of flowers, different color flowers and beautiful oaks. So these oak trees and these flowers, they give us cool water. Because of the forest only, because of the trees only, we are getting cool water. We are getting rainfall. And by that we are getting drinking water, cool water. Don't cut these trees, we have to keep them alive. If we cut these trees, what happens? Then there is no rainfall, scarcity of water, scarcity of fodder and scarcity of fuel. And not only this, there might be an imbalance in nature. Imbalance will be created. Then because of this imbalance, sometimes we may get floods, sometimes we might get drought, and sometimes we might get forest fire. Sometimes there are so many natural calamities, even earthquake. All these things happen when we try to disturb nature, destroy nature, then imbalance will be created in nature. So by having all this insight, by having all this insight thinking, so forward thinking, all these uneducated women of Garhwal region, they came in defense of the forest and they protected these trees. How did they protect the trees? By hugging the trees, and they even declared the loggers, the woodcutters have to kill them before killing the trees. So they have to cut them before they cut the trees. In this way, in a non-violence way, they protected the trees. And this made a good impression on Vandana Shiva. By seeing this Chipko movement lively, directly, Vandana Shiva was inspired, and even she decided that she is going to be a part of this Chipko movement, and throughout her life she is going to dedicate her time for the protection of environment, and this is the first impression on Vandana Shiva which made her to become an activist and environmentalist. In 1973, I had gone to visit my favorite forest and swim in my favorite stream before leaving for Canada to do my PhD, but the forests were gone and the stream was reduced to a trickle. In 1973, when Vandana Shiva completed her education here, to do her PhD, she wanted to go to Canada, and before leaving to Canada to do her PhD, she wanted to visit her favorite forest and swim in the favorite stream. Why? Because she spent her childhood in the forests of Himalaya, where she spent most of her time in the forest and swimming in the streams. So that's why she wanted to revisit these forests and swim in the streams. When she visited, the forests were gone. So the forests were completely destroyed. Forests were disappeared because of the selfishness of these forest officials and woodcutters. And the stream was reduced to a trickle. So trickle means the dripping of water. So drop by drop. It means the stream, the river is not flowing continuously. There is no water in that stream, in that river. The water is reduced to a trickle. Trickle means the water is dripping drop by drop. So little by little, so it was completely dried up. There is no water, there is no forest. Then I decided to become a volunteer for the Chipko movement, and I spent every vacation doing padayatras, walking pilgrimages, documenting the deforestation and the work of the forest activists spreading the message of Chipko. When she saw this kind of horrible scene, so what was the horrible scene? When she visited her favorite forest and streams, the forests were gone and the streams were reduced to a trickle. So this is a horrible scene for Vandana Shiva. Then she decided that she is going to become a volunteer for Chipko movement. She became a volunteer for the Chipko movement, and she spent her vacation doing padayatras. She started walking in the forest, walking pilgrimages, so walking all around the forest, in the forest. Why? To document the deforestation, to document, to record everything. So how these loggers and woodcutters are completely cutting the trees, destroying the forest, and the work of forest activists. Not only that, she documented even the work of forest activists. Forest activist means the one who is protecting forest, who is fighting for the rights of trees, forest, and spreading the message of Chipko. By doing these padayatras, walking pilgrimages, so Vandana Shiva, she spread the message of Chipko. What is the message of Chipko? Don't cut trees. So we need to live along with trees. So live and let live policy. Trees are not dead things. Trees are living things. We need to live with trees. We have to have forest. So by spreading the message, she used to spread the importance of forest. Like this, Vandana Shiva spent her vacation by doing padayatras and documenting the work of deforestation and even the work of forest activists. When she decided to become the volunteer for Chipko movement, when she visited her favorite forest and streams, when she saw the horrible scene, that is the forest was gone and the stream was reduced to a trickle, then she decided to become a volunteer for Chipko movement. Now, she is giving an account of one of the dramatic movements, action which happened during the time of Chipko movement. One of the dramatic Chipko actions took place in the Himalayan village of Advani in 1977. When a village woman named Bachni Devi led resistance against her own husband, who had obtained a contract to cut trees. When officials arrived at the forest, the women held up lighted lanterns although it was broad daylight. The forester asked them to explain. The women replied, "We have come to teach you forestry." He retorted, "You foolish women, how can you prevent tree felling by those who know the value of the forest? Do you know what forest bears? They produce profit, resin and timber." So one of the dramatic Chipko actions. So dramatic. So So it was a very serious action which happened in Himalayan region in the village of Advani in 1977. You need to remember it. In 1977, a dramatic, a serious action happened in the village of Advani. A rural woman, uneducated woman named Bachni Devi, she led resistance against her own husband. It means she objected, she stopped her own husband who obtained a contract to cut trees. It means Bachni Devi's husband, he obtained a contract to cut the trees. And now Bachni Devi, she completely stopped, objected her own husband. And when officials arrived at the forest, when the forest officials they arrived, the women held up lighted lanterns, although it was broad daylight. So this here lighted lanterns, it is the symbol of their protest. It was a broad daylight, but still they held lighted lanterns, lamps. Why? To symbolically say that the women, they know the value of the forest, but in opposite to this, the forest officials and the woodcutters, they are completely blind. Not they are literally blind. Blind means they don't know the importance and significance of forest. So that's why they held up lighted lanterns, although it was a broad daylight. The forester asked them to explain. Now the forest officer asked them why they gathered there and what is their intention in holding that lighted lanterns. Then the women replied, "We have come to teach you forestry." Then the women told the forest official that they have arrived there, that they have gathered there to teach him forestry, to teach him the importance of forest and how to maintain forest. He retorted, he shouted at them, he yelled back, he shouted, "You foolish men, how can you prevent a tree felling by those who know the value of the forest?" But he retorted, shouted at the women and he said, "The value of the forest you don't know. The real value of the forest you don't know, and you can't prevent felling of trees, those who know the value of the forest. Do you know what forest bear? According to the forest officer, forester, forest bear, forest produce profit, resin and timber. It makes a huge profit, money. It gives resin means rubber, and it gives timber, it gives wood, logs. By giving this resin and timber, by rubber and wood logs, it gives a huge profit. So cutting the trees might get them huge profit. So that is the real value of forest according to the forest officer and woodcutters. But the women sang back in chorus. The women who gathered there, they sang in chorus with one voice. All of them, they sang, "What do forest bear? Soil, water and pure air. Soil, water and pure air. Sustain earth and all she bears." Now, they sang in chorus, "What do forest bear?" So according to the women of Garhwal region, forest bear soil, water and pure air. So whatever the natural resources we are using today, we are enjoying today, so all these natural resources, oxygen, pure water, everything, it is gift of nature. It is given by forest. Soil, water and pure air. If there is no trees, no forest, then no soil, then no drinking water. Even we might find difficulty to breathe. Why? Because less number of trees, less oxygen. And at last they said, "Sustain earth and all she bears." We need to sustain, we need to protect. We need to continue whatever the resource we have, and we need to protect and preserve earth and all she bears. Whatever available on earth, in earth, we need to protect all those things in spite of destroying it. But with selfishness, human beings, they are continuously destroying nature, they are continuously misusing the resources, overusing the resources, even though they know that all these resources are not renewable. We know few of the resources are renewable, but most of the resources are non-renewable. But still human beings, with their selfishness, with their lifestyle, because to make profit, they are just overusing, misusing and destroying nature. And ultimately, who is going to face the consequence? Human beings should face the consequence. By having all these thoughts and ideas, women know the real value of forest. The real value of forest is soil, water and pure air. But according to the forest officer and woodcutters, the real value of forest is profit, resin and timber. Like this, Chipko movement with a non-violence response stopped the deforestation, stopped the cutting of trees, and the interesting part here is the uneducated women of Garhwal region, though they are uneducated, they don't know much about environment, they don't know the bonding and relationship between the living organisms, but still they protected, they came in defense of the forest. So we will end the today's session here, and I am going to dictate you one more questions from whatever we have discussed today. So all of you please write down the one more questions. The first question: where did Vandana Shiva's ecological journey start? Where did Vandana Shiva's ecological journey start? Next question: what were Vandana Shiva's parents? What were Vandana Shiva's parents? You need to mention their occupation, profession. What were Vandana Shiva's parents? What were Vandana Shiva's parents? When did Vandana Shiva's mother? When did Vandana Shiva's mother become a farmer? When did Vandana Shiva's mother become a farmer? Next question: from where Vandana Shiva learnt about ecology? From where Vandana Shiva learnt about ecology? From where Vandana Shiva learnt about ecology? Next question: who composed songs and poems? Who composed songs and poems about trees, forest and forest civilization? Who composed songs and poems about trees, forest and forest civilization? Next question: when did Vandana Shiva's involvement in contemporary ecology begin? When did Vandana Shiva's involvement in contemporary ecology movement begin? Next question: what do you mean by Chipko movement? What do you mean by Chipko movement? Next question: who came out in the defense of the forest? Who came out in the defense of the forest? Who came out in the defense of the forest? Next question: what had led to landslides and floods? What had led to landslides and floods? Next question: who had to face a heavier burden? Who had to face a heavier burden because of logging? Who had to face a heavier burden because of logging? Next question: what is the real value of the forest? What is the real value of the forest according to the women of Garhwal region? What is the real value of the forest according to the women of Garhwal region? Next question: What did the women declare to protect trees? What did the women declare to protect the trees? What did the women declare to protect the trees? Next question. When did Vandana Shiva visit her? When did Vandana Shiva visit her favorite forest and stream? When did Vandana Shiva visit her favorite forest and stream? Next question. What did Vandana Shiva notice? What did Vandana Shiva notice when she visited her favorite forest and stream? What did Vandana Shiva notice when she visited her favorite forest and stream? Next question. How did Vandana Shiva spend her vacation? How did Vandana Shiva spend her vacation? How did Vandana Shiva spend her vacation? Next question. When did one of the dramatic actions of Chipko movement happen? When did one of the dramatic actions of Chipko movement happen? Next question. Who is Bachni Devi? Who is Bachni Devi? Who is Bachni Devi? Next question. Who obtained a contract to cut trees? Who obtained a contract to cut trees? Who obtained a contract to cut trees? Next question. Why the women held up lighted lanterns? Why the women held up lighted lanterns? Although it was a broad daylight. Why the women held up lighted lanterns although it was a broad daylight? Next question. What forest produces according to the forester? What forest produces according to the forester? What forest produces according to the forester? Next question. What do the forests bear? What do the forests bear according to the women of Himalayan region? What do the forests bear according to the women of Garhwal region? Okay, that's all the 1 mark questions from today's session. I hope all of you have understood whatever we have discussed. You might feel it little bit difficult. So once again you need to read the chapter, and if you don't know any word, any terminology, please refer to dictionary and find out the meaning. And in the next class we will discuss how Vandana Shiva speaks about monoculture, and she speaks about Navadanya movement and Navadanya form. Until then, all of you take care. Bye.